The story of Portgas the Ace is an interesting one. It is no secret that I am a huge fan of Portgas the Ace, and I'm constantly fighting off infidels who believe that Ace is a terrible character. And I believe those people don't understand what a good character is if it smacked them in the face. However, today we're going to talk about Ace's journey to Wano, but not only to Wano, his purpose in Wano, and what could have possibly happened. But before that, if you're here for the first time, make sure to like the video if you enjoy One Piece content, among other things. Maybe you've come to the channel before and you've watched a few videos. Now's the time to subscribe because this video is going to be fire. Anyway, to Portgas the Ace. Ace is a very special character because I think a lot of people would acknowledge Ace is a character who we feel like if things aligned, if things worked out for him, he had the potential to be the Pirate King. Just going off of lineage, strength, connections, Ace had it all. But mentally, there were things going on with Ace. And for some people, they don't really understand or they can't relate to it. But just to be blunt, Ace had daddy issues. But that wasn't the only issues he had. He had issues in regards to his own existence, his purpose, his future, and even his family. And I think for Ace, his existence and questioning that, but based on the things we know about Ace, the things Ace said, even Ace before dying, saying to Luffy, "Thank you for loving me," I think Ace should be commended for finding a purpose in life, or attempting to find a purpose and a goal, as outlandish as it may be. Because normally in a situation like that, if you're questioning your purpose, your existence, your family, whether or not you should be alive, what do you think happens? You then take your life. That happened to Kuina on a much smaller scale because all Kuina was questioning is whether or not she was strong enough to achieve her goals. And we don't even know if she could. More than likely she could have, based on how skilled she was. And off of that, she pretty much took her own life. Yes, how it's positioned, we think she fell down the stairs. Basically, in that culture, when you fall down the stairs, essentially, you're basically taking your own life. So Kuina, she took her own life. But Ace powered through, even with everything shrouded in uncertainty, to find purpose, as outlandish again as it may be. Now, people question this, with Ace being as reckless as he is, as stubborn, and quite frankly, as dumb. And to some people, it turns them off. This character did not listen, and a lot of people died because of him. And he himself died because he did not listen. Again, we're going to get to Wano, but I just want to let you guys know that for a character like Ace, we would applaud him if he lived at Marineford, taking on or defending his father's name, because Whitebeard at that point, that's his father. But most people, in hindsight, they look at what logically should happen because you know the outcome. But for people, I ask you this question: how many things would you do differently if you knew the outcome? We've all done stupid things that we probably shouldn't have, but we didn't know the outcome. And then the outcome ended up being dire. Then we're like, oh man, if I had only known this is what would have happened, I wouldn't have done it. But you never know what could happen. But this is Ace. This is how he's been. And the thing with Ace, what I want you guys to also understand is that he couldn't help it. This was not something that came out of the blue. Ace inherited this will to not run away, to become a monster when it comes to your friends. This is something that was important to Portgas the Ace. I don't like blaming Whitebeard for anything because Whitebeard is the GOAT. I love Whitebeard. I adore Whitebeard. But I think Whitebeard did a poor job of understanding his son, because with Ace, identity issues, family, purpose, and connection, and what he had with the Whitebeard pirates was everything to him, because that's what he was searching for. So I think Whitebeard minimized what happened to Ace in regards to Thatch being killed under his watch and chalked it up to the game, saying, don't worry about it. And for Ace, out of everyone on that crew, would take it the most personal because of what he's been through and how hard he had to fight to get this connection, get this family structure. Some of you may know of Ace's history if you read the novels, of his meeting with Deuce, his fighting with Isuka, the Vice Admiral, him burning the flag at Fishman Island to challenge Whitebeard, him going to Shanks, asking Shanks about Blackbeard and his scars, Ben Beckman giving his whole speech about Ace. And that's the reason why Jinbei approached Ace, because he burned the flag at Fishman Island, so he wanted to defend Whitebeard's name. Ace basically giving up after losing to Whitebeard because they were going to spare his crew. Ace challenging Whitebeard at least 100 times after joining his crew. Because something that people like to say is that Ace, he bowed to Whitebeard. That didn't happen immediately. Again, after joining Whitebeard's crew, Ace challenged Whitebeard over 100 times and lost. That was not easy for him to give up on his ambition to take down the big names of the world. So for Ace and Whitebeard, that just shows you the type of person that Whitebeard is. And Odin even said as much. Whitebeard and Roger are great men, and he was smitten by both of them. And for Ace, it was the same thing. Of course, not for Gold Roger, because Ace felt like Gold Roger, and because of who he was, put him in that predicament, but he was a child growing into a man. Then he found his purpose, he found his connection, his father figure, and he was content. And then Teach, he disrupted that structure under Ace, and Ace felt like he had to be the one to fix that. That burden was on him because of what he didn't have in the past. It meant a lot more to him. So when we talk about Ace challenging top tiers, it was a means to an end. It was a purpose. It was an outlandish goal to overcome that cloud that hung over him, that Gold D. Roger cloud that a lot of people didn't know about, but it was an internal struggle. And if you're human, you know about internal struggle, things that other people wouldn't understand, even if I told you. So what's the point? So when you mention possibly the kid of Gold D. Roger that wouldn't deserve to be born, yes, I'm aggressive and I'm punching you in the face because you can understand what it is like for a kid to not know if he's worthy of being alive. But I mentioned that just to talk about Ace going and challenging Kaido, which makes a lot more sense because, again, he ends up making a hat for oars in the process. But what happened? How does Ace go to challenge Kaido? Doesn't lose apparently, but Kaido isn't defeated and leaves Wano. What happened? What could have influenced Ace to not go there and achieve what he went to achieve? Now, a lot of people criticize this as far as Ace and making promises, but I think what Ace is, or what Luffy represents, he's everything Ace isn't. What I mean is, Ace had all the tools, the devil fruit, again, the charisma, the charm. If you read the novels, you understand that Ace had the same power that Luffy had. Somehow, the ability to draw people to him. It was mentioned. Maybe not to the scale of Luffy, but he had that. He had that it factor. He's an example of if you viewed things a bit differently, if you thought a bit more about the things that you're going through. Luffy as a character is a perfect MC. Maybe the king of shonen jump ever as an MC, and a lot of people regard him as such. But Luffy's not a realistic character. How Luffy approaches things is not how you would normally approach these things. For Luffy, when he found out his dad was Dragon, didn't care. Okay, whatever. For Ace, finding out his dad is Gold Roger, it affects your entire psyche. It changes your entire narrative. It changes your goal, your purpose. For Ace, he tried to find that. For Luffy, not only did he have people around him that could develop those things, for instance, Shanks, Garp to a lesser extent, Dadan, where you say Ace had some of these things, but Ace had that cloud over him at a young age. Garp was Luffy's blood relative. It wasn't Ace's. As much as Garp tried to be there for Ace, and I'm sure he respected Garp to the highest extent, but he was Portgas D. Ace, Gold D. Ace, if we're being frank. So they're completely different characters. They have some similarities, but how they approach things are different. Ace is the much more realistic character. He has realistic emotions, realistic reactions. That's why he's such a polarizing character, because you're either on one side or the other. You hate him or you love him. There's some people in the middle, a few people in the middle, but normally the people in the middle, they're even saying, I don't even know why you guys like Ace that much. He's okay. For Ace, I think you have to understand his character to understand why he's doing the things he's doing. Going after Kaido is not solely about Kaido. It's about him. It's about me. Erasing this stain. What was accomplished? You went to Wano. Kaido wasn't defeated. Wano was still a mess, but you met Yamato and they developed a relationship. Not talking about that kind of relationship, but they became close to the point that Yamato called Ace her friend. What happened? How did Yamato talk Ace out of attacking Kaido? Because I don't think that's what happened. I think Ace tried to attack Kaido, went to fight Kaido, and even destroyed the statue at the beginning. He did that, but I think Yamato said that she did it. And that was probably one of the moments in which Yamato got beat by Kaido by destroying that statue. And I think Ace, something had to happen for Ace to realize now was not the time for me to do this. Maybe Yamato talked him out of it. Ace never fought Kaido. There's no way in hell I believe that. And that's one part of how I feel about it, because it could be the opposite. Here's the rebuttal, or the other argument I hear from people in the community. They were talking about Ace and saying Ace challenged Kaido, and because of Ace's special power in which people were smitten by Ace, people liked Ace a lot. What if Kaido came to like Ace? And of course, judging by the theme of Kaido's crew, King, Jack, Queen, you have Ace, Kaido offered Ace to become a part of his crew. So therefore, when Ace left, Kaido was a bit perplexed, a bit upset. Then all of a sudden, Kaido sees that Ace has been captured by the Marines and Ace was to be executed. So Kaido, in a drunken stupor, leaves Wano and goes to Marineford to save Ace. A weird thing for Kaido to do, but we've seen Kaido inebriated, and that's not the same Kaido. He is a terrible drunk. right? But I'm absolutely loving the Ace mentions in Wano. I think we could go into a flashback in the next coming chapters, showing us exactly what happened, because for Ace's story, we have a history, a timeline of the things Ace did. Meeting Deuce, again, like I mentioned, meeting the Vice Admiral, getting offered the Warlord position, going to Fishman Island, burning the flag, fighting Jinbei, meeting Whitebeard, becoming a crew member, going after Blackbeard, then we know what happens from there. But the timeline's a bit weird because we're trying to figure out, okay, after you went to Wano, what made you leave there without accomplishing your goal? What was that about? And I think it all revolves around Yamato. I think that's the key factor here. The person that was able to do this is Yamato, and of course, Otama. It's tough in regards to Ace on Otama because he left Tama in a really bad situation. And he said he was going to come back, and obviously, you know, that didn't happen. But, you know, you wonder, why didn't he take Otama with him, right? But again, she's a kid. So for him, he's thinking, I have to get better or be in a better position to save you and help you. But something happened in Wano for Ace to say and think, I can't do this right now. And I think that's going to be a key cog in Ace's character because there's a slight hole. Like, there are things that we can try to talk around, but there's missing pieces that we have to figure out in regards to Ace's psyche and the reason why he did some things. But for most of them, we understand. You should try to understand why they were done. But guys, give me your thoughts. What is your theory about Ace? What do you think happened when Ace went to Wano? What did Yamato say to him? Did the journal have anything to do with that? Give me your thoughts. I want to hear them. Make sure to like the video if you did. And again, now's another chance you had to subscribe. You made it this far in the video, you might as well subscribe. And I would appreciate it so much. So again, like, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at Bragi.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost.